Hey, welcome to the Higher Ed AV podcast. My name is Joey. I am your host. And boy, do we have a good one for you today. We just did a crossover episode of the AV Life podcast because why would I give Tim credit when I just hosted his own show? You can't give me 20 minutes notice that you're not showing up when we all have day jobs. But you know what? Because you're on the East Coast, Tim. Doesn't mean that I'm not in meetings while you're posting this stuff. Okay. So you know what? I did the AV Life for you. You got an Amy cameo. And now it's Nancy and I, ScreenBeam. We are here, AV Life. That's no longer the AV Life. It's now the Higher Ed AV podcast. We are doing the crossover episode.
So I need to do a new picture.
You got to do a new picture. Let's do a new picture. I'll smile.
Okay, hold on here. All right, 1, 2, 3. There we go.
And there we go. So we're doing a crossover episode, and hopefully Chris and Ryan can edit this. Because you know what? I didn't release a Tuesday episode today. So what would the odds be that the end of the episode actually came before the other episode? Think about that. Yeah. That's never been done. I think we can change everything. So so we are now on the Higher Ed AV podcast. And
I've never been on it. So, hey.
You've never been on my show?
No, I haven't been.
Okay, well, hell.
But I am now.
Okay, well, then this is going to be a new one now. All right, so first off, tell people who you are and what you do.
I am Nancy Blanchard, based out of San Jose, California. I am a territory sales manager for ScreenBeam, and they're based out of San Jose as well. And I handle the Western U.S. as well as Western Canada. Go Canada.
Go Canada. All right, so what does ScreenBeam do?
Well, in a nutshell, which is really cool, and I told them they need to be talking about this, is 2011 Intel. We were working with them. They asked us if we could manufacture a wireless receiver. So we were the first certified, became part of the Wi-Fi Alliance. Then we worked 3 years with Microsoft in Seattle alongside their engineers, and we co-engineered Miracast along with them. We wrote the stack for Windows K to be included in Windows.
I absolutely love that. All right. So everyone who's listening right now, this is episode 361 of the Higher Ed AV podcast that just started after 35 minutes of the AV Life or something-ish. So you need to go back to that, and you're going to hear a true AV Life. But what I'm going to do is I'm switching. I got Nancy. I have ScreenBeam, one of our, HETMA wouldn't be what it is without the support of ScreenBeam and the support of people like Nancy, and not just like Nancy, actually Nancy, because Nancy has always been a supporter of everything Higher Ed has done, no matter how many lines on your resume it's been.
Yeah,
you have been there forever. So I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
What does higher ed mean to you? Why is this a vertical that you seem to just keep working? Because you've worked for so many major companies, including like right now, you're probably working for the best of them all, but all the other ones before, you still always were here. You were always on the AV Life. You're always at our roadshows. You're always. So what does it mean to you to support HETMA and higher ed vertical?
Well, I attended university myself. Wilfrid Laurier in Waterloo. It's understanding the more I get to know the higher ed community, and that, the issues, the challenges, the things you go through, and the companies that I've worked for, like with Williams AV, it was assistive listening. So, it's that communication to be able to, for all students to feel involved. And then Bose Professional, it was that audio. So that clear, intelligible type of audio to follow along and that. And so I always look for solutions that can help benefit. So it's not like I'm just pushing a product. I really do step back and I look at the higher ed community, and how can I help to better them? How can I educate them? You might not necessarily use my solution, but I can help to educate you. So down the road, if all of a sudden you've got a refresh, you've got an upgrade or something like that, you might say, you know what, that might actually work. So that's what I provide and the interest that I take. I told you from the beginning, because you started HETMA, during COVID, is, learning about the Slack channel, and that all the technology managers, they're on there and they get to share information. You have the smaller colleges. They might not necessarily know where to start or what to do. What path is there? And so they can ask. So it's sort of like I would say maybe even like a great big therapy session, for that fact
Yes.
we have the support.
Yes.
And every year when you introduced and you went to Infocom as the first end user, I mean, everybody was drawn to the booth. And that's what generates that excitement. And so I just want to be able to support. And like I said, even if I can't support every type of institution, but maybe there might be a fit with the others. So that's
Well, and I think
my
that's the thing
interest.
about higher ed. Like the difference between us, and we say this all the time, right? Like we're not competitors, we're colleagues, right? You will never see that between commercial
Yeah.
people, right? They're not going to share secrets. We will share every secret, right?
Yeah.
That we go out, we do that. The same thing during, I always say it's like everybody's like, "Oh, you're Joe Way, you're this." But the only reason I became successful is because I literally gave away the secret to hybrid learning that, Chi and I developed
Yeah.
before the pandemic. And everyone's like, "Well, how do you do it?" Well, here you go. That's the only reason I am. But if we were a commercial industry, we would have never given it away.
Yeah.
My provost at USC said, we have a duty to give that away.
Yeah.
And here you go. Here's how you do it. And now it's in thousands of schools of how you do it. How many schools, when you now go in, they're like, oh, we're a Zoom room. Huh. That's crazy. Who would ever thought to turn a classroom into a Zoom room?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we did. But it's a no-brainer now, right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, is that would never happen in the commercial side, right? Unless you stole it,
Yeah.
right? And you saw it and you find out what did we do and what did she do? We just threw out the line drawings. Here you go. Now, this is the microphone we chose. This is the speaker we chose. You can mix and match those things, but here's the blueprint of how you do it.
Well, and also because you've got a solution that actually works. So you've got something that's tried and true. And then, like I said to you, even with the small, community colleges, they can use that as a template. Maybe they
Yep.
tweak a few things, but they're not starting from scratch.
Oh, community college is where the money's at. Go after the money. That's where it's at right now. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. All right, so I want to keep following up. So it's your first time on the Higher Ed podcast, so
Yeah.
you're getting interviewed. I'm picking your brain. We're going to make everybody smarter. So since you have been in sales for a lot of the top brands in our industry,
Yeah.
right? What do we need to know? So you deal with end users all the time. We pretend, I'm not going to lie, we pretend to know everything, but we know we don't. So what do we need to know when you're talking? And you don't have to talk to ScreenBeam, but just in general, what are the things that we need to know to make the conversations better when we're talking to the U's in our industry?
So, in being a consultant liaison, what I have learned over the years is what's most important is applications installations. So let's not
say that again. Applications
and
installations.
installations. So let's not
Yes.
do a feature dump, because you can get up on our website, anybody's website, look through the tech specs and things like that. What I like to do is I like to talk about, I think outside of the box. So a lot of manufacturers, they're just sort of like narrow focused on, okay, well, hospitality, and we're going to do corporate, and we're going to do this. And it's like, well, let's step back. And I'll give you an example. So with ScreenBeam, I saw some of my previous engineering firms at Infocom, And I said to them, I said, okay, I want you guys to think about this. You got a stadium, you've got meeting rooms, you've got suites, you've got the training facility, you've got the coach who's talking to the players. You can use a ScreenBeam because you're doing the casting and the sharing. No, nobody's thought about that. And that's what I'm saying is, let's look at various applications that gets the light bulb to go off.
Yep.
Let's talk about installations because that's something solid. So this place is using it, this place is using it. So you know that it's validated. That's how I operate.
Yep. I absolutely love that. I love that. So, you know, as if I'm looking at this now as a customer, let's pretend I was a consultant.
Yep.
Let's say I'm a customer consultant representing all of higher ed.
Okay.
And you're showing up to me and you're saying, here's my product. It's the best thing since sliced bread, which, by the way, I just bought my first loaf of like Wonder Bread in like 20 years. And I know, right? And Amy totally is like, you just bought Wonder Bread. No, you know what I did this weekend? This was my birthday week. All right. So we're doing a technical timeout. So last
Happy
Thursday,
birthday.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Thank
happy
you.
birthday.
So Thursday was my birthday. You know what I had for I had a bologna sandwich. I had mac and cheese. I had cereal.
You went back to childhood.
Oh, I seriously, I literally had like regular old milk and threw it in like this is, I went straight on back. Okay. Welcome to 53 years old. And I had to relive this. So I have no idea where I'm going with this, but anyway, so we're going back to, all right. If I'm sitting here and I'm now a customer, let's pretend I was a customer liaison, not a manufacturer or consultant liaison. I'm not working for them, but I'm a customer liaison. Let's pretend there was such thing as a consultant that represents the higher ed vertical.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
How does that person then deal now with the industry? Because here's the thing. We are in such a time of our industry in higher ed or customers. Like I'm saying higher ed, but I think it's a lot of customer verticals where we don't have an option right now to make a mistake. So if I were sitting there and representing XYZ University and going, I'm going to help you through a process. How do you now go and pretend you're me doing that? How do you now deal with the rest of the industry to make sure you're not screwed over? You're not this. You get the right solution. All of that because you get one shot, one opportunity to make everything happen. Like, never mind.
So you have to develop relationships then with the manufacturer. What is their future product roadmap? Be involved in NDAs where you get to see early technology and you can provide your input, knowing that they're going to take that face value. That's the most important thing.
Well, and that is the HETMA approved and advisory thing, right? Get in there and get those things. So I'm gonna let me flip it back then. As someone who's now been part of this, and with HETMA, you've been as part of a number of organizations. Does that feedback actually make a difference, or is it playing a game because you feel like you have to? You know what I mean, right?
I'm happy you said that because in my experience, ScreenBeam is the first manufacturer that actually takes to heart the feedback from customers. So like at Infocom, they showed, which is going to be coming up, ScreenBeam Connect. So it's like this virtual ScreenBeam using a web browser, having moderation and things. They were showing it because they needed to find out, were they going in the right direction? And I have one of your HETMA members is going to be a beta tester, but Bloomberg News years ago said to ScreenBeam, can you please get rid of the VGA port, put in HDMI on because this is antiquated? Because we have the engineers back in San Jose, the turnaround was 2 months and they had a receiver with an HDMI port. So that is what I am impressed with, because the others that I have worked with, And James King, he's a great example. We were talking about this when I was with, and we had
That gets a retweet.
When we had an AI product, and he and a couple of the guys came to the booth, and they're giving their feedback, because I mean, the way that their lectures and classrooms and things work, and you could just see that the person that they were delivering it to was becoming defensive. And that shouldn't be the case. I mean, why go in a different direction if it's not going to cater to, your clientele? So that that's why I was smiling, is because I have to say ScreenBeam is the first one, not because I work for them, but that I have seen how they really are serious in listening to customer feedback. So, and adapting. So we've got like some new things coming out in the fall, and that way she would be happy with this POE requests. Those are the things that we look at, and then we just add them on to the product roadmap. Okay. And now what's the priority? Are we getting more and more people asking? Well, then maybe we need to bump that up.
Okay. So on top of that, when you have customer feedback, how do you qualify whether it's a complainer or, okay, this is a direction we need to go? What do you as a company do? And then what do you as a sales rep do, right? Like, let's be honest, and higher ed, like we love to complain. We'll complain about shit that ain't important, right? That's what we do, because we can't take it on our bosses, so we take it out on you. All right. So how do you do that? And then how do you know to not make that distinction to go, okay, I need to move this up the chain?
So for me is I always take the feedback, and then I pass it on to Jay, which a lot of your members know Jay because they're involved. Teddy is involved like with active learning and things. Jay's the one responsible for the future product roadmap. And so we give that to him. And then that is where, are there other requests for it? And if there are other requests for it, how serious is it in where it should be listed? So we had a request from several different colleges that said, we don't need casting, but we've got a whole bunch of displays. Can you do something with digital signage? So in March, we released a signage player. And that was a quick turnaround. We had beta, we gave it to a couple, they really liked it. So it really has to do with how many requests are there for that particular feature. And we as TSMs need to send that back so that they know the type of questions that are being asked or what is desired.
All right. So with that, make the distinction. If I were to tell you, I hate the way this thing, actually, I hate to say this because your product is so damn good, so I can't make stuff up. All right. So if I'm sitting there going, it doesn't, all right. Well, here's the thing. One of the things ScreenBeam does great is that you got security, you've got, I mean, we haven't even talked about security. I mean, like this wasn't supposed to be a ScreenBeam commercial, and it turned into it. So I'm going to turn the last 10 minutes away from that, because this is not supposed to be, but it is. But all right. But here's the thing: when you're talking to customers, how do you educate them? Because like I just said, because it does casting, it does this. Oh, but it does like how, when you're talking to a higher ed person, how do you know and how do you educate? Well, maybe this is something you're not thinking about, because I'll tell you this, and I'll tell every listener here has heard this. Oh, I want XYZ product that's a switcher or it's a whatever. The first thing they do that happens when they put on the network, the campus network, is the security team goes, what is the security protocol that goes with this? And you're like, oh shit. Right? You don't know, like, but that's one of the things ScreenBeam does well. Right.
Yeah. So for me personally, like I said, because I've always been like a solutions, applications type of thing, I always start off educating about the background of ScreenBeam, because there's a difference between Miracast with the other ones out there on the market are saying, well, I use a casting on my LG TV. Yeah, that's all consumer grade, but we're enterprise grade. Then I talk about the security, because there's 3 different levels of security. We actually also provide a pen test under NDA, which we've had customers ask for.
Okay.
And then I talk about a visual of really, like, the receiver has 3 necks. It's got 2 wireless radios. If you don't need internet access, you can just do peer-to-peer with it. It has its own SSID number, and you can just be able to connect to it and share up on the screen. But what I do is I always give like an overall picture so that people understand, not just that it's wireless sharing. We've got admin tools. We've got this, we've got that. But let's get down to the nitty gritty so you actually understand that it is a validated platform, I guess you could say.
Oh, you had me at platform. I love the word platform. Oh, all right. Like I said, this was not a ScreenBeam commercial, everybody, but we seem to keep going back there. So I'm going to leave the last 10 minutes away from that. Okay. Sorry. ScreenBeam, you're welcome to your commercial.
And my wine glass is empty.
Oh, my high noon's empty. Do we need to play a commercial so you can?
I think so.
All right. So you go fill up your wine glass. I'm going to text Amy for another high noon.
Okay.
Right. While you do that. And so I'm going to text Amy for a high noon, and I'm just going to fill in.
Okay.
While you do this. I hope you can go fast.
I can.
So, all right. So here we go. One more high noon to Amy here right now. Please. I'm doing please. One more high noon, please.
And there we are. And
you're already back? I only finished please.
Courtesy of Los Alamitos Winery, which is local in
LA?
San Jose.
Los
Alamitos.
Oh,
Vineyard.
We have Los Alamitos in Los Angeles, not Los Alamitos.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't have an A with an O. It's not Los Alamitos. It had to be Los Alamitas.
Hey, Joe, I didn't say that I was Spanish oriented. Oh, it's just Alamitos.
Okay, there you go.
Alamitos.
All right, so, the fact that I corrected your Spanish.
Yes, so. I know. My mom told me that Spanish is easy. I took it, and I was a French major in university, and I took a beginner's Spanish, and then the prof told us all that if we returned for the intermediate, he would fail us, because we sounded French. so Spanish, I can pick up Italian, like when I'm over in Italy, no problem. French, no problem. Greek, no problem. Spanish just doesn't jive.
Wait, but Greek is very different.
It is, yeah. And even
because
Russian.
It comes from the Russian side. See, that's the difference. Yeah. That's the line right there, which is most people would be very surprised since the Romans took over the Greeks and they ended up going off into the Middle Eastern world. You would think they would have also taken over the language, but they didn't. It was actually Greek that actually took over the Roman language. And that's why Latin died, because so many people in the Middle Eastern world spoke Greek that the Latin actually died because of the Greeks, which came from there. So there you go. There is your history lesson, everybody, which is why like things like the New Testament were written in Greek, even though the Romans oversaw all of the world. So you are all welcome to that fun fact, everybody.
Yeah. And please don't go to Europe this summer. Please don't.
Why not?
Well, with all the mega fires.
Oh, the fire.
And the heat wave and things.
We live in California. We live with fires.
We do. You know, we haven't really had them badly this summer, honestly.
We actually haven't. Well, because they come in the fall. They always come in the fall once everything totally dries. And then we get a late rain. But I think we're supposed to have an early rain this year. That's what they said at my Bible study this morning. They said that we're supposed to have an early rain. Now, granted, who the heck knows that, right? El Nino, whatever, La Nina. Like, no one knows.
Yeah.
Right? But that was supposed to be the thing. All right. So we're going to spend 10 minutes now. And we're going to go, because you are one of the top consultants in our entire industry, and we have not even talked about that. So I have been famously quoted to say the only thing consultants are good at is spending my money.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard over the years, let me tell you, I've heard comments. Yes.
All right. So tell me right now, why am I wrong?
Well, you
Or
have,
why am I right?
well, no. Okay. So, experience. You get the ones that have the cookie cutters, copy paste, just put it in, and that's what they're pushing. They just feel comfortable with certain manufacturers and that they're not open to learning anything else. I did have a consultant with school district in Colorado where for some reason they didn't understand the school district standards and how things work. And they totally offered a different solution. And then that bid had to be pulled back and now it's being reworked again. So I mean, they've gotten a bad rap because it's sort of like that they're just out of touch with, and I'm going to come back to it, with applications, how it's being used, this and that. And I know that, like that's why I think a lot of integrators are doing their own in-house design because they're more in touch with their customers and what their customers need and that. So yeah, it's been like that over the years.
Yeah. All right. So
and if you
I
talk
don't
about,
think you really answered the question. I
I
don't.
know, I don't
think
I did
you
either.
did. Because you are a consultant liaison. So you worked for you worked for you work for the manufacturer working to serve the manufacturer. Right?
Yes.
No, the integrator.
Well,
you worked for the manufacturer serving the integrator.
serving the integrator, but for me, it was educating the integrators and the consultants about the solutions that might be appropriate for the end user or how the end user would use it.
Okay, so you work for the manufacturer, working to serve the consultant.
To serve the consultant with the end user in mind.
See, but you don't see that often.
I know. I am a unique individual because I think about, even for myself, like let's think about it every day, the services that you use on your, thank you, Amy, on your house, your personal life. I mean, it's still the same in a way. It's just that it's not commercial. It's not pro AV.
Yeah. But absolutely. All right. So let's say you are an end user. What is the best way to leverage a consultant? Because here's the thing. I'm gonna put something out there that I've said this before, but I'm gonna let everyone know how the industry works.
Okay.
Every consultant gets paid on the back end from either an integrator or a manufacturer, and they get points based on what they design or promote, period. You can say no and it happens, and it might happen to your company or not. But here's the thing, that is just the way it is. Okay. Because here's the thing, every integrator, and I know you're shaking your head, but because I'm letting a secret of our industry out, and I'm not wrong, and I'm going to get crap for this, but the fact is, every integrator is either a platinum, gold, whatever level with every manufacturer, and they get more points back based on by saying you should use X company over this company. This microphone, you should use this one over this one. This control system, you should. And even if they are saying this is the best, they are getting points back based on their level, period. That's how the industry works. And every consultant falls in line with that.
No. Now there's where I disagree. The integrators, yes, and it's been like that for decades. Yes, the back end.
So tell me why I'm wrong.
All of that. Okay. Well, first off, is like with consultants, from my experience, is that they won't accept um, uh, uh, how do you want to say it? They're billable hours, so they have to be able to, show of working on projects and things, but they're not allowed to accept um, back end things, and that's from the consultants I've worked with. So that's a whole different ball game, and I think it's changed over the years. Because I'll tell you, Joe, when I was in the industry, and then I took fair amount of years off to be a domestic engineer. When I came back into the industry, I discovered it had become more mature, and so it wasn't like all these back end deals. So I can say that about consultants. Now there still may be ones out there, that do, but from the larger firms, I have not experienced that.
All right. And thank you for validating. I was so glad you said that, because that actually is true. I led you into something that you didn't know was leading, and I think that is the thing. And even though my thing that I say is the one thing that they're good at is spending my money, as people know, I also own 2 consulting firms. Okay.
Oh.
So even though I'm good at spending people's money, I think that you nailed something that's important, is looking out for the customer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there and talking to Scott at an after hours event, and he said, I have one goal, and that's make sure that customer is taken care of,
Yeah.
front to back, from the start to finish. And I was like, that's pretty damn good. You're not just saying that because I'm a customer. He's like, no, I'm retired now. I don't give a crap anymore. But that was the thing that I always said to every one of our people. And so the question now for you is,
But can I add one extra thing?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of times though, it's the architect, and the architect hires the engineering firm or the consultant as a customer to do the designs and things. So they're given the scope from the architect, which, as we know, a lot of times the architect, that's where it kind of falls down into, let's look at things realistically, like you're having a problem, but you got concrete walls and glass surrounding, and you can't figure out why audio is bouncing off of it. I mean, I put that to the architect, because I've had where the consultants have said that they've tried to change the architect to tell them, reality of acoustics and things, to only be told, no, we're not changing it. So sometimes there's a couple extra steps in there.
Yep.
Or extra layers.
Well, and I think that's what people don't actually see. They see the final, and they take it out on the consultant, but it actually shouldn't be the consultant, even though I make my jokes.
Yeah.
Because they're good jokes, right? But it is true. All right. So we are coming up. We are now at 35 minutes of this show. And by the way, if you are only listening to this, because I'm going to put it out tonight, we're recording this on July 20. It's coming out in like an hour, Nancy.
Are you putting it out on LinkedIn?
It'll be out everywhere.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it might be out in the morning. I don't know. I'm lazy. All right. But we're at 6:50 p.m. Okay. We hijacked
Tim,
show, but
I know.
we encourage everybody to go listen back to, actually, so you're going to hear part 2 before part 1, where we did the AV life, because Tim didn't show up to his own show, and he decided that he wanted to cancel 20 minutes before we were going on. But us West Coasters are in business meetings. We don't get that stuff. So we just showed up, right? And we're here, and we just took over. I took over his show. So he gets credit for his own show. All right, there you go. But I turned it over to this crossover episode. So go back to the AV Life, and you're going to hear personal side of Nancy. We talked about fun stuff. Yeah. Here on the Hired AV podcast, we talked business. On the AV Life, we talked just life.
Oh, Canada. Yep.
Oh, Canada.
Why not to live in Canada?
Canada. All right. So does the stem of the leaf go down, right? The stem of the leaf goes down and not up.
That's right. And we have ketchup chips.
What the hell is a ketchup chip?
Oh, ketchup chips are the best. Come on. I don't
What the
understand
hell
the
is a
US why
ketchup?
all of a sudden dill pickle is popular and they're bringing out dill pickle popcorn and chips and dill pickle this and that. And it's like, we had dill pickle for the longest time, but it's the ketchup chips.
Okay,
They are amazing.
okay. This sounds like a conversation for rapid round. So we are now moving toward the rapid round so here's how this works. These are quick questions that have no right or wrong answer unless I have an opinion of my own, in which case you might have a wrong answer.
Oh,
so everybody gets the same first question. Higher ed is about tradition. What is your favorite college tradition?
Oh my gosh. Well, we were different from the US. So I think we were a little bit more tamer.
I didn't say it had to be outrageous.
Going
that laugh had something behind it.
Being part of the French club, going to the French club and their events, which were, having wine and things, and watching the profs get drunk.
Okay, wait. All right, we have to go. You had a French club at your college.
Yes, my university.
Where the French but this was on the English-speaking side of Canada.
So at university, there was the French club, which a lot of us French majors were part of. And so the French club would host an event. The profs would come, they would get drunk. And if you tried talking to them, they would spit. But they were around because they had tenure. They should not have been teaching. That's
all right. So, well, I will
that's
be very
memory.
careful.
Are you wanting something like
you know what? Tenure shouldn't ever exist. There, I'll say.
No, I don't think it should. The majority.
And by the way, tenure is going down and it's going away, and that's a good thing. Sorry, everybody, but it's a good thing.
Yes,
And by the way, I have a great rate my professor. So there you go. You know what? I get my zero pay for the class I teach. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you say in French, the Higher Ed AV podcast is the best in the AV industry?
Well, if you want to do it like Quebec, where they mix in English, to be like, le AV podcast, c'est le meilleur, or c'est meilleur.
That was a little underwhelming.
Well,
all right. Yeah, that was underwhelming. Yeah, it was a little underwhelming. All right. So we're going to do a quick one here. This is an either or, hardware or software.
Oh, I'm a software person.
Okay. Give me the top 2 reasons why.
Creative. I'm a visual person, so I like visual.
Okay. Second.
No, I did. I said creative.
Creative. That was, I said top 2 reasons.
I said creative and visual.
Oh, creative and visual. Okay. I thought you said creative and then because you're visual. Okay. No. Gotcha. That is a wrong answer. The right answer is software, but the top 2 reasons are manageable remotely and being able to help your manage remotely. That's it.
So not all software is that. Let's look at Microsoft, okay? DC Hatchet put on Twitter and he goes, I hate all things Windows. And I was like, I'm on the bandwagon with you there.
Yeah. All right. Classroom or conference room?
Oh, well, they're 2 different applications. I would tend to say conference room just because of enterprise.
Correct.
Meetings,
correct
collaboration.
Answer. Yep. All right. Conference room. Easy setup. You don't know complications. Good to go. Solutions are getting better. You can make a conference room a good 20 people now with a very simple solution.
Yeah.
Correct answer. All right. Teams or Zoom?
Oh, Zoom.
Absolutely the correct answer.
And if you're a Mac user with Teams,
I hate. Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Oh, this might become a ScreenBeam question. Wired or wireless?
Wireless, because then you're not tethered at the front of the room. You're untethered. You can walk around. You can interact. You can make it more interesting instead of just being up at the front.
All right, all right. So far, so we're in line. I'm waiting for something confident. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Standardization or customization?
Standard.
Why?
Unless you have a unique situation application where it has to be more customized because there's nothing really out there on the market. But standardized is better because tickets go down, you're able to support it a lot easier.
Infocom or ISE?
ISE.
Those are fighting words.
Given. That's a given.
Yes, I agree.
I've been talking to my management and saying, you got to get me there because I've been there and it's a lot more productive.
Early morning meeting or after hours meeting?
I would say after hours. I'm only in early morning if it absolutely is needed.
See, I'm the other way. I'll take the 3 a.m., 4 a.m. meeting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen you posting like in the middle of the night.
I know. Well, I have a consulting company in Dubai. I have to be up at 3 a.m.
Okay.
All right. Most overrated AV technology.
Well, I said the AI. Joe, the whole UC collaboration with 500 million video bars out on the market is just absolutely ridiculous. And, when Shure introduced, I think they introduced a video bar recently, I was like, are you kidding me? Because Harman had 2016 the Vibe, and it went under AMX, but really it was JBL. And it was a concept at Infocom in Vegas. And somebody pushed the button and the button fell right through. And then everybody on the booth realized that it wasn't a real product. And it was, it was vaporware. And then they, for years, kept saying about the new Vibe. And then over, like I said, just recently, it's like more and more companies still are introducing video bars. How many more video bars do we need? Like, oh, the ecosystem as well. That's another.
Oh, there we go. Ecosystem. Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, because, okay, you got the ecosystem. That's great. So what you're doing is you're throwing all your eggs into one basket. But what happens if something goes wrong? Then you're screwed. Like, I think you gotta look at like all the different technology and what really suits you. It's not buying into one ecosystem. That's my thoughts anyways.
All right. I'm there with you. So far, we are in line. All right, you ready for this?
Okay.
AI is going to improve AV. True or false, and why?
False. Because there's so many different facets of AI, and like I'm a realist, so I step back and you look at all the different AI agents that have been introduced and what are they used for? And I don't think there's like one size fits all. So I think that it's still going to be some time before there's something solid and concrete about it. Like I know I've seen with the video cameras is that they've got the AI for tracking and all of that. And maybe in some situations that works, but I'm still out on the AI.
Wrong answer.
Ah,
no, that wrong answer. AI is the future. It can do everything. Yeah, but
you're saying it'll do everything. How's it going to do wireless sharing with ScreenBeam?
Well, we can have conversations. There's NDAs for that. Talks to Chi.
Oh, he knows. I, as an employee, don't even know.
I wouldn't say that on a live recording unless
I gotta get in touch with Jay.
We have ways to do things. All right. So next up is good enough AV actually ever good enough?
That is a tricky one because some people will just be happy with it works, it functions great. But if you need to expand, you need to be flexible, then good may not be good enough for what you need it to do.
Wrong answer. Car dealership that just needs one training room, 5 conference rooms. Good enough is good enough.
Oh, well, a car dealership's different from.
Yeah, no,
anything
but
else.
that wasn't the question. The question
so
is,
you were
was
thinking
good
about car
enough ever
dealerships.
good enough? The answer is yes. If I can walk in and I just share to my ScreenBeam and I put it up there, I got a handful of conference rooms that I'm closing a deal. The answer is yes.
Yes, for that, yes. But let's say that you have like a site of over 1,000 and you need to
That wasn't the question.
Okay, then maybe I wasn't listening.
The question was, is good
See,
enough?
I think you're doing this because we were agreeing on everything, and now all of a sudden you're just throwing.
Oh, absolutely! The show is only good if there's conflict. We can't keep agreeing. Okay, you only have 2 more.
Okay.
My biggest professional pet peeve is ...
Oh, I gotta think about that because I always look at everything positively. My only professional thing I would say, honestly, is being in contact with a person and expecting an answer in a timely fashion and not getting it. And that is one of mine that just drives me nuts. And I am always quick to respond because I know, okay, consultants, they're billable, they have projects. If you can't in a timely manner provide things, they'll move on to the next manufacturer. The same with end users. They need to know. I mean, that's my pet peeve.
I totally agree.
Yeah, being unresponsive.
I am a quick one because one of the things, since I came from business side of the industry, not from the end user side.
Yeah.
One of the things that set me ahead in my old companies was how quickly I responded to new customers.
Yeah.
I got more business because I was the first to respond with a great answer. And it wasn't just the boilerplate answer. It was, here's what you asked for. Here's what it is. If you want to, and how much business I got from that. And so I'm going to tell you this, every HETMA person on our board who is listening to this, I hate when a day or 2 goes by and we have not responded to an email. Yeah. I would respond in 30 minutes. Even if it's middle of the night.
Hey, live by the iPhone. You know, got the Teams, got the mail on there.
20 years ago too, when it came in, I responded, and how many times I got back was, I would be like, "Oh wait, you respond," and it was like at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, "Yeah," but that's the type of person, and that's when they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you respond like I didn't expect you to respond until Monday." I'm like, my response back was, "And this is the type of service you're going to see if you go with me."
Yeah.
And you know how many times that closed a deal?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I would, with integrators, they would email me on Saturdays and I would instantly respond back. You know why? Because they have a project. They've got a timeline as well. And so if I can help them out, they're going to come to me first and foremost because they know they're going to get that service. And that's the building up of your brand, right?
100%. 100%. Yeah. All right. Last question.
Okay.
This is going to be a tough one.
I thought I already
You just got terminal cancer. You can only hug 5 people in the AV industry. Who are they?
Oh my gosh. Well, that would take some time because I've got a lot of close connections.
Uh-huh.
Who would it be? Well, Patty. Yes. Patty Wanser.
Mm-hmm.
Do I mention Joe Way?
No, I'm a given.
Okay.
I'm number 6.
Curtis Singleton. He was the one that passed on the Bose Professional link to me, and then I got that job. So that's 3. Renee Renee,
Yes.
I've grown close with her with being part of the AV Life podcast and feel that I can talk to her about things. I got one more. Oh, how you do this to me. My goodness.
That's why it's great being a host.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, got some people. I would probably even say Randy Pegnan.
Okay.
Because
See,
Randy
that
Pegnan,
was a left field.
well, we've known each other since the 90s. And when he was at American Video, and he's from Guelph, Ontario originally.
I like that. That was solid.
Yep.
All
And
right.
he's-
So with that, we always end with the same last question. Remember how I just told you it was the last question? I lied. So the last question, which is actually the second to last question, is this. So you get one. Let's pretend you had. I like to end with a little bit of advice, a little bit of something. Let's pretend you had your own podcast.
Okay.
And you get 1 minute. It's just give me. This is the just give me a minute segment. You get 1 minute to have any monologue you want to have. And it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about technology. It doesn't have to be whatever. I've had everything. I've had everything from baseball to women's issues to whatever. It can be about anything you want. You get 1 minute to have your own monologue, and the time starts now.
So, is that where I get to talk to you about
whatever you want to talk
past
about?
life, which we've talked about in the past, of which I'm still very interested to learn more?
This is your time, not mine. I'm not saying anything.
Well, mine had to do with your previous ABC relationship and wanting to dig more into that because I find it fascinating. I find your background is fascinating. I just want to learn more.
This isn't about me. This is about you having your own show.
I know, but I would be interviewing you.
Okay, I see where you're going. Okay, you can ask me. I'll tell you this. I'm going to give you 3 questions.
Okay.
You can now have 3 questions.
Okay.
Go.
How did you get started into it?
It was a joke because I took a class while I was in college, and then after I graduated, it became a side job for me. And then I knew people in the industry and said, wouldn't this be funny if? And then it was presented and taken. Okay.
But then how did you start it? Because I mean, from not being within the industry, yes, you know people, but how, I mean, because it's one of the biggest shows. So that's like, how did you get that spark?
It was literally exactly what I said. It was a joke. We did not think it would happen. And if you look at seasons 1 through, 1, 2, and 3, at 4, it was taken and sold. They were all B and C stars. Now they're getting A and B stars. It wasn't that at the beginning. It was considered a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Third question. Did you see more potential for where it could be, but unfortunately you were sort of bought out by it, so there wasn't a chance for you to continue? Okay, so here, how do you feel now, seeing where it's gone?
Best decision by both parties.
Okay.
It would have never been what it is if it was only me.
Okay.
There was only so far I could take it, but the major player who bought it had all the right things to take it to the next level.
Okay. Do you watch it?
No. That was 4 questions.
Well, I know, but
never watched it after
bonus.
after about 11.
Okay.
After, after about, I used to go every now and then to watch it live.
It's recorded
Never
on my
watched it.
TV.
Yeah. Never seen it. Don't know what's going on
Okay.
for the last 15, 20 years.
So a great learning experience.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are we done the questions now?
Yeah. See, that was good. Actually, it wasn't good. I feel horrible, but that's okay. All right.
You
so
shouldn't. You should be proud.
No, I am. I am
Yeah.
proud. I am. It's part of my life.
Right. Exactly.
I hate the mouse. I mean, I love the mouse, but I hate the mouse.
Well, hey, if I'm coming on Monday, right? We could maybe be able to fit in Disneyland. Go over to California.
Just text me.
Yeah.
And see if it works out. All right. I like to. Why is Amy texting me about HVAC people? All right. So, all right. That being said, the very, very last and most important question is, how can people connect with you and ScreenBeam?
Okay. Yeah. Really easy. LinkedIn, Twitter, it's at Nancy Blanchard. And then with ScreenBeam, which is on the website, has all my information, but it's nblanchard@screenbeam.com.
All right. Thank you, Nancy. See, how about this for a crossover episode, an unknown episode? I now get credit for having a Hired AV podcast episode that I didn't even plan this week, which was great. See, I mean, at your expense and ScreenBeam's, but how about that? You know what? The best things happen when they're randos, right?
Yeah, it sounds good.
So that being said, hey, Tim, hopefully you didn't hate the fact that we hijacked your show. That's okay. I'm going to download it. I'm going to send it to Ryan and Chris. Tell them to cut it up, post us up. Hopefully you all enjoyed this. And that to be said.
Good conversation. Yeah.
It was a great conversation. That to be said.
Tough questions.
All the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of our respected institutions, companies, sponsors, anyone who really wants to sue us. If you wanted to sue us, then this had nothing to do with you. That being said, this studio is the outro. I've never done a crossover. Now let's see what happens here. Hang on, Nancy.